an old and often forgotten spawn that I see good potential on. My name is Goody and this is Chor. Before I start, a quick disclaimer. I don't own this character, I did make it and play it for a week, but sold it on the bazaar and the new owner kept the name. With that said, let's talk about Chor. This spawn is located to the east of Port Hope and no access is required. The level recommended is over 30 since the idea is to hunt AoE with GFPs, and the main creatures you find here are the low class lizards. The reason I hunted here is partly because of the profit, which even though this is on a new server, it can also be high profit in an established server because of the lizard scales and leathers. For me, in this hunt was more about making loot bags, but also the amount of gold they drop is quite good. If you decide to try this out on a new server and plan on making a loot bag like me, then make sure to get some empty backpacks and a parcel beforehand, as when you approach the city it's better to parcel the loot. And if you are hunting on a normal server, then don't bother with the loot bag and just focus on the creature products. The second reason is the experience. I was doing around 150k raw XP as level 35, which is decent enough to compare with other more popular spawns, like the Ancramon Tombs or the Spike, but by far less contested. And that XP is with looting everything. If I had gone just for the experience without looting everything, I can definitely get it higher, which is something I did try previously by only looting the leathers and scales. But my experience in that recording was the same, most likely because the lab was slightly worse with some smaller pools. In my most recent hunt, my lab consisted of this. I will clear the middle, then go down and clear that as well. Then after that, I will go north and do 3 pools. First, the monsters on the west. By standing on this house, it will force them to group up and easier to GFP down. Then grab the ones closer to the north without going too far and staying more in the open area, and then a last one with the monsters by the second bridge as I move back to the middle. Once there, I will repeat the middle pool, but instead of going down, I go to the west side, doing 2 big pools in that side. The first one, I also will use the trick of going into a house to force them to group up, and then the second one has a more open space to move and lure. Then I will go south and do these 2 small pools separately, and that will lead me back to the middle, which finishes the lap, and then I repeat. I was satisfied with that lap, and I think doing that without looting everything will boost the experience over the 175k raw, perhaps more. Additionally, at least on the case of a new server, where I am resupplying from the store with Tibia coins, there is a protection zone spot to the north, where I can relog and buy the supplies quickly without going to the city. That is helpful to continue hunting without going back to the depot to refill, and in the case of a normal server, I will drag a bag with supplies to the spawn if I wanted to hunt longer. Lastly, in terms of profit, I was getting on average over 5 scales and leathers per 20 minutes, which on a normal server it will be probably over 100k TR. And in the new server, I was covering my waste with the gold alone, because of the low cost of supplies with Tibia coins since it was the first day of the server. And then in a bit over 1 hour, I made a loot bag that got me 11k, which was just pure profit. That is all I got for this video. If you like the content, consider checking more of my videos. Thank you for watching, and a special thanks to the supporters of the channel, Tuna Hero, Nightstar and Thor the Slasher.